Should you spend time to save money or spend money to save time? One example of spending time to save money is cutting the grass yourself instead of paying someone, either because you can't afford it or you prefer doing it yourself. On the other hand, spending money to save time means paying someone to cut the grass so you can focus on other things. What's the better option? It depends entirely on how much your time is worth. How much do you value an hour of your time? For example, if you can make £1,000 per hour from your business, it doesn't make sense to do tasks valued at less than this, which you could easily outsource. Professionals get the job both done efficiently and well, which is definitely worth it. These are tasks that most people could do on their own, but take time and mental effort. Concentrate your efforts on the one or two things that will make all the difference for you. So let's take a look at this. Person A spends time to save money, while person B spends money to save time. Both of them value their time at £1,000 per hour, and the cost to cut the grass is £20. If person A spends an hour cutting the grass, he saves £20, but loses out on the £1,000 he could have earned during the hour. His net loss is £980. Person B spends £20 to pay someone to cut the grass and spends his hour working on his business, earning £1,000. After spending £20, his net gain is £980. This shows that spending money to save time can create far greater value than trying to save a few pounds. It's not just about the immediate financial gain, but about understanding how you can maximize the value of your time. So when you're first starting out, it doesn't always make sense to pay others for tasks you could do yourself. It seems only logical to save money. Eventually, you will have to learn to outsource all sorts of time and energy consuming tasks. You come to realize that scared money doesn't make money. And if you look at this, when you first start, you might not see any growth. But then you'll realize that you can no longer devote as much time to certain parts of the business, such as video editing or script writing. And so you have to pay other people to save time on those tasks that would probably cost 20, 30, 40 pounds. And you get to now focus on the big parts of the business that will cause the most growth for you. Spending time to save money makes sense when your basic needs are at stake. Some people have no choice when it comes to this. People in poverty, they work to make money, which is then spent to survive. Most cannot break out of this cycle, but for those with more resources, spending money to save time is often the better choice. In the previous example with those two guys, I said that their time was valued at £1,000 per hour. But maybe you're not there right now. Maybe it's because you see yourself as the £10 per hour man. The £10 per hour man is the man who believes he should be paid £10 per hour. And so that is exactly what he's getting paid for. He only does things that produce £10 per hour of value. That is why your time is not worth a lot, because you don't value your time. Instead of wasting it, go and spend it shifting your mindset, learning, reading books, leveling up your skills so you can go from that £10 an hour to that £1,000 an hour person quicker. Because if your time was so valuable, why would you waste it? Being rich means having money, but being worthy means having time. Rich people might have high incomes, savings and assets, but they don't necessarily have the free time to enjoy their lives. Wealthy people, on the other hand, use their money to create more free time by investing in services, delegating tasks, and setting up systems that let them focus on what they enjoy most. A lot of people get mistaken and think that working more hours will equal more success, and that is not always true. This guy, he's working 3 jobs at £10 an hour, and then he's spending his money on parties or food or shoes to impress his friends, and then he goes back to his £10 an hour warehouse job. Whereas this guy, he only works 1 job, and then in that spare time, he learns high value skills, and that is how he levels up to that £1,000 per hour role much quicker. When you work more hours, you are working harder, but working harder doesn't correlate to more success. In the beginning, it makes more sense to work hard because you don't have that many opportunities, you don't have that many connections. So yes, you literally just have to get your head down and work. But in the long term, you need to work smart, not just hard, if you want to achieve greater success. Be frugal when you can, but spend money when being frugal costs more than spending the money would. So let's take a look at this diagram. This guy goes for the cheap repair that costs £20. Because of the quality of the repair, he's needing to visit every month, and he's getting mad, frustration, mental health problems, anxiety, stress. His car breaks down every now and then. Whereas this guy, because of how good and quality the service is, because he went to a proper qualified technician with a lot more years of experience, he only needs to visit once every 12 months. When he visits every 12 months, he's got to pay £200. But when you look at this guy, after a year, he's paid £240. So he has tried to be frugal. He's tried to save money to cheap out. But you see how in the long term, he's the one that is suffering, whereas this guy is winning. But not only is he winning in the fact that he's spending less overall, he's also winning in the fact that he can drive around and not worry or stress or get anxiety that his car might break down in the middle of the road. So this doesn't apply to everything, but just consider being frugal when you can, or if you should spend more money. So this all comes back to long-term thinking. Every decision you make today affects future you. Short-term thinking might save you money now, but it usually costs you more in the long run. Make decisions that add value to your life, not just in the moment, but in ways that continue to pay off over time. Time is the one resource you can never get back. Spend it wisely.